Imagine graduating from college, getting a good job, working 40 hours every week, and still feeling like you're losing. Now imagine telling your grandparents that buying a normal house feels almost impossible. They probably wouldn't believe you, because when they were your age, the rules were completely different. Work hard, stay loyal, save your money, and eventually, life would reward you. For millions of families, that wasn't just a dream. It was reality. So here's the question. If people today are more educated than ever, working longer hours than ever, and producing more value than ever, why does building a comfortable life feel harder than ever? Did people suddenly become lazy? Did Americans forget how to manage money? Or did something much bigger happen while everyone was too busy trying to survive to notice? Because here's the truth almost nobody talks about. The American dream didn't disappear overnight. It slowly transformed. While millions of people kept chasing the version that existed 50 years ago, think about trying to win a football match. But halfway through the game, someone secretly changes the rules. You're still running, still exhausted, still giving everything you've got. But somehow, the scoreboard never changes. That's exactly how millions of people feel today. They're not failing because they aren't trying. They're following yesterday's map in a completely different world. To understand why, we need to travel back to a time when the American dream wasn't a motivational quote. It was simply how life worked. Picture America in the 1960s. A young man finishes school. He gets a job at a local company. Nothing glamorous, just honest work. He shows up every morning, learns his craft, builds relationships. Every year his paycheck grows a little. Within a few years, he buys a small home. Not a mansion, just a place where his family can laugh around the dinner table. He buys one reliable car. His wife doesn't need 3 jobs. His children play in the backyard. Every summer, they take a simple vacation. They aren't rich, but they aren't constantly worried either. Life feels predictable. Tomorrow feels brighter than today. Most importantly, hard work feels connected to progress. That's the America millions of parents grew up believing in. And naturally, that's the advice they pass down to their children. Study hard. Get good grades. Find a stable job. Work honestly. Save your money. Everything else will eventually fall into place. For decades, that advice genuinely worked. But advice has something people rarely think about. An expiration date. The advice that created success in one generation can quietly become outdated in the next. Imagine using a 20-year-old GPS today. The destination might still exist. But the roads, the bridges, the traffic, everything in between has changed. That's exactly what happened to money. While millions of people kept following the old map, the economy quietly built a brand new one. At first, the changes were almost invisible. A factory moved overseas. College tuition increased a little. Healthcare became slightly more expensive. Homes rose another few percent. Nothing seemed dramatic. But those tiny changes never stopped. Year after year. Decade after decade. Until one day, millions of people looked around and realized something shocking. They were doing everything their parents told them to do. Yet somehow, the finish line kept moving further away. The American dream didn't collapse in one moment. It drifted away, one small change at a time. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. When change happens slowly, it doesn't feel like change. It simply becomes your new normal. And that's exactly when the biggest transformation began. So, what actually changed? Most people blame inflation. And yes, inflation is part of the story, but it isn't the whole story. The real answer is much bigger. The entire economic game quietly changed. Let's start with something almost everyone dreams about: owning a home. For previous generations, buying a house was a major milestone, but it was also an achievable one. Today, for millions of young Americans, it feels like climbing a mountain that keeps getting taller. Home prices have increased far faster than wages. Even people with good careers often struggle to save enough for a down payment. Some have accepted they'll rent for much longer than their parents ever did. Others have simply given up on the dream altogether. Then there's education. Your parents probably told you that college was the safest investment you could make. For many years, they were right. A degree often opened the door to a stable career and a comfortable life. But today, that same degree often comes with something else. Years of debt. Imagine beginning adult life already owing tens of thousands of dollars. Before buying your first home, before starting a family, before building wealth, you're already trying to catch up. But even these aren't the biggest reasons life feels different. The biggest change arrived quietly. Through a screen, the internet changed everything. Suddenly, companies weren't just competing locally. They were competing globally. A business in New York could hire talent from another state or another country. Technology made businesses faster. Automation replaced repetitive work. Artificial intelligence is now beginning to perform tasks that once required highly trained professionals. The world became more connected than ever before, but it also became more competitive than ever before. And while technology transformed the workplace, something else transformed your wallet. Subscriptions. Think about your own life for a second. Your music, your movies, your phone bill, cloud storage, fitness apps, software, streaming services, food delivery memberships. One by one, small monthly payments became completely normal. $10 here, $15 there, $20 somewhere else. Individually, they don't seem expensive. Together, they quietly reshape your entire paycheck. Here's the scary part. Most companies no longer want you to buy something once. They want to become a permanent monthly expense. Their goal isn't just to earn your money. It's to earn your money again and again and again without you even thinking about it. That's one of the biggest differences between your parents' economy and yours. Years ago, businesses competed for your purchase. Today, they compete for a permanent place inside your bank account. Now combine that with something even more powerful. Your attention. Every morning, before you've even left your bed, your phone starts competing for your mind. Notifications, emails, ads, videos, recommendations, influencers, algorithms. Thousands of companies fighting for a few seconds of your attention. Why? Because attention creates desire, and desire creates spending. Think about the last time you bought something you never planned to buy. Maybe it was a gadget, a pair of shoes, a kitchen tool, a subscription. You probably didn't wake up needing it. Someone convinced you that you did. That's the modern economy. It doesn't wait for customers anymore. It follows them. Into their pockets, into their homes, even into their bedrooms. Because your smartphone isn't just a phone anymore. It's the world's largest shopping mall, open 24 hours a day. And here's the fascinating part. Most businesses aren't really selling products. They're selling emotions. Luxury brands sell status. Coffee shops sell comfort. Travel companies sell freedom. Fitness brands sell confidence. Technology sells convenience. People think they buy products, but most of the time, they're buying a feeling. And once you understand that, you begin seeing money differently. The modern economy isn't just competing for your income. It's competing for your emotions. Because emotions spend money much faster than logic ever will. Suddenly, everything starts making sense. The American dream didn't become impossible because people stopped working hard. It became harder because the rules quietly changed. The old economy rewarded showing up. The new economy rewards understanding how the game actually works. And that's exactly where the biggest opportunity begins. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because despite everything we've talked about, millions of people are still becoming wealthy. Not because they got lucky. Not because they were born into rich families. And not because they discovered some secret investment. They simply realized something before everyone else. The game had changed. Most people think success comes from working harder. But today's economy rewards something completely different. Working smarter. Think about it. 50 years ago, your biggest financial asset was your job. Today, your biggest asset is your ability to learn faster than the world changes. That's a huge difference. Look around you. The biggest companies in the world don't always sell physical products anymore. Some connect drivers with passengers. Some connect buyers with sellers. Some connect creators with audiences. Some simply build software that solves one annoying problem. Notice the pattern? The world's most valuable businesses aren't always creating more things. They're creating better systems. And systems have one incredible advantage. They keep working, even when you stop. Think about your favorite YouTuber. They spend 1 week making a video. That same video can earn money for years. A software developer writes one useful program. Thousands of people can buy it. An author writes one book. Millions of readers can enjoy it without the author writing it again. An investor buys part of a great business. That business keeps generating value every single day. Different industries, different people, but exactly the same principle. Their effort doesn't stop when they go to sleep. That's called leverage. And leverage might be the biggest difference between the old American dream and the new one. The old dream rewarded time. The new dream rewards ownership. Ownership of skills. Ownership of businesses. Ownership of investments. Ownership of content. Ownership of ideas. Ownership of assets that continue creating value. Now don't misunderstand this. Having a job isn't a bad thing. In fact, a good job can completely change your life. It teaches discipline, builds experience, creates confidence, pays your bills. But depending on only one paycheck has quietly become one of the biggest financial risks in the modern economy. Imagine trying to balance on a chair with only one leg. As long as nothing happens, you're fine. But the moment that leg breaks, everything collapses. That's exactly what relying on a single income feels like today. One layoff, one recession, one unexpected illness, one company deciding to cut costs, and suddenly, your entire financial future is at risk. The people building lasting wealth understand something different. Instead of building one source of income, they slowly build several. Not overnight, not through get-rich-quick schemes. Step by step, they invest consistently. They develop valuable skills. Some start small businesses. Some create digital products. Some build audiences online. Some buy assets that grow over time. The goal isn't to become rich overnight. The goal is to stop depending on only one way of making money. And maybe that's the biggest mindset shift of this century. Stop asking, how can I work more hours? Start asking, how can today's effort continue creating value tomorrow? That single question has created more millionaires than endless overtime ever has. Because here's the truth. No matter how hardworking you are, you'll never have more than 24 hours in a day. Time is limited. But value can grow without limits. That's why the people winning today's economy think differently. They don't just trade time for money. They build things that continue producing value long after the work is finished. And once you understand that, you stop chasing security and start building freedom. Because real financial freedom doesn't come from earning more. It comes from depending less. And that changes everything. So, did the American dream really die? I don't think so. I think we were simply looking in the wrong direction. Every generation grows up believing the world they inherited will stay the same. But history has never worked that way. The people who built fortunes during the Industrial Revolution didn't use the same skills as the people who built fortunes during the Internet Revolution. And the people who succeed in the age of artificial intelligence won't succeed by thinking like it's 1995. Every generation gets a different game. Your grandparents built wealth in factories. Your parents built careers in corporations. Your generation has opportunities neither of them could have imagined. The ability to build a business from a laptop, to reach millions of people with one idea, to learn almost any skill online, to invest with a phone, to work with clients from anywhere in the world. None of those opportunities existed just a few decades ago. Yes, the challenges are real. Housing is expensive. Education is expensive. Life moves faster than ever. But opportunity has also become more accessible than ever. The question isn't whether the world has changed. It has. The real question is, will you change with it? Because the people who build the future aren't always the smartest. They aren't always the richest. And they certainly aren't always the luckiest. They're simply the people who notice change early and have the courage to adapt before everyone else does. Think about every major invention in history. The car replaced the horse. The internet replaced the newspaper. Streaming replaced DVDs. Smartphones replaced dozens of everyday tools. Every time the world changed, some people complained that the old days were gone. Others asked a better question. What comes next? Those people built the future. Maybe that's the real lesson behind the American dream. It was never about one house, one job, or one perfect career. It was always about opportunity. And opportunity never disappeared. It simply changed its address. Today, opportunity belongs to people who stay curious, who keep learning, who invest in themselves, who build skills instead of excuses, who create value before asking for rewards. Because here's something I wish more people understood. Money follows value, not effort alone. You can work incredibly hard digging a hole, but if nobody needs that hole, your effort has little value. Solve an important problem for enough people, and the world rewards you. That's why the future belongs to problem solvers, not just hard workers. So before you spend the next 10 years chasing someone else's definition of success, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one question. Am I building a life that looks successful, or a life that actually feels successful? Because those are two completely different things. Real wealth isn't driving the most expensive car. It isn't buying things to impress people who don't really know you. Real wealth is waking up without constant financial fear. Real wealth is having choices. The choice to spend time with your family. The choice to say no to work that steals your peace. The choice to build a future instead of surviving another month. Because in the end, money is only a tool. Time is the real treasure. And every financial decision you make is secretly a decision about how you'll spend your life. Maybe the American dream didn't disappear. Maybe it simply stopped looking like the one our parents grew up with. And maybe that's not something to fear. Maybe it's an invitation. An invitation to stop following yesterday's map and start drawing your own. Because the future doesn't belong to the people who keep looking backward. It belongs to the people brave enough to build what's next. The dream isn't gone. It's waiting for the people willing to redefine it. And maybe that person is you. If this video changed the way you think about money, then that's exactly what Finance Juice is here to do. Subscribe, because every week we'll break down the ideas, businesses, and financial truths that school never taught you. And if you found value in this video, leaving a like helps us reach more people who need to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.